Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a quick overview to do for you. So this is the Arkona Buran. You guys may have seen me unbox it recently. Knife nut sticker. Shout out to Levon, extra hardware, cloth, and COA, which I'll give you a quick glance at. You guys can check it out. These are made in China. We don't know the OEM. He doesn't disclose, I guess. He has a OEM partner of some kind. But if you want to reach out, you can reach out right here. And pause and read if you want the information on this. I have already committed to selling this to my buddy Brent over at Backpack B. And not because this is not a good knife. It's because it's not the knife for me, so to speak. And we'll get into that. So, I'll leave that there. Shout out to Levon, guys. If you want one of these, go over to the Knife Nuts Podcast website, and I'll link it down below. And you can pick these up right now. They're $320, and I can tell you they are 100% worth every single penny of that. This is a fantastic knife. If you want the short and the sweet of it, if you're right-handed, this knife is absolute money. You should just pick one up. Unless you don't like bigger knives or you're left-handed and you love reverse flicking like me, those are the only two reasons not to get one of these, honestly. This is one of those situations where I'm actually pissed that I'm left-handed. So, if that means anything to you. You got the beautiful stag on the pivot there. This gorgeous milling pattern, just very futuristic, cyberpunkish, I guess. Love the hardware. You do have a reversible clip. Very easy to reverse. I did test it to see if it would help with the lefty issue. It doesn't. But you can reverse it if you're left-handed and then carry this lefty. Very simple. Unscrew that. Pull the screw out with the insert. Comes right out. Flip the clip over. Put the screw back in with that insert. Tighten it down. Boom. Good to go. Huge lanyard hole. And then, of course, you have Arkona right here. And, yeah. And then you have this clip. Beautiful design milled clip. Little blue accent on that pivot collar there. T8. And all T8 here as well. So, the unique thing about this knife. Well, first, it's designed by Ivan Braginetz out of the Ukraine. And it has made it to the United States. That by itself is pretty cool. They are made in China, but, you know, some of the money has to get to the Ukraine. It's a whole thing, probably. So, shout out to Levon for handling all that shit. Second, it has this GTC, I forget what it's called, but it's basically an inset frame lock. So, don't mistake that as an inset liner lock. This is an inset liner lock where the liner lock is inset into the scale, right? So you don't see the liner here, whereas a normal liner lock is like this, where you can see the liner all the way down, right? You can see that liner, and then you have the liner lock, and that's a normal liner lock. This is an inset liner lock. You just see the tab here for disengaging and for lockup, but everything else is hidden under the scale. Looks very clean. It's hard to do. It's really nice. Here's another example. Our knife, the Devo Knives Buzz. Inset liner lock. You just have the tab there. Everything else tucked away into the scale. All right. This is an inset frame lock, I suppose. You can see that on a normal frame lock, you have the lock cut out of the titanium, right? And then you have a relief cut either inside or outside, and it's all cut out of the frame from the edge here, right? Well, on this, you can see it's actually cut out of the titanium scale, like offset. It's not cut from the end here. So this is still solid right here, which is cool. So they mill this out, or they cut this out, and that's your frame lock. And then they create a relief somewhere in there, And then they have a tab that acts as your lockup, and that attaches to this lock bar. It's very interesting. If you look at the pouch, you can see, I showed this in the unboxing as well, but this is the steel insert / chip. You know, so it's got your detent ball. It acts as the lockup, and it's huge because it's that whole piece right there. And that's essentially your lock bar, and it's attached to this from the inside. It's really, really cool how they do it. Unique as hell, I'll give it that. And it's the lock system is designed by GTC out of France, I believe. I can't remember his full name, but he's a very popular custom maker. He's done some collaborations with ZT, I think. And he has that flipper tab that, like, it's kind of like the spring-loaded flipper tab one. Pretty cool stuff. Go check out NAF Sergeant, or just NAF now, KNAF on YouTube, and you should be able to find a video about that. But it's a very unique system. You can see the lock bar. I mean, it's just cool. I mean, look at that. I don't know. I just think it's unique as hell. Now, there are some downsides to it for me, which is your clip. Because the clip is usually mounted center on the handle, it's landing right on that lock bar, where on another knife, the lock bar is sort of offset to this side, so you can land the clip and get the pressure from the clip onto the frame instead of the lock bar, which makes it to where, as a lefty, you have a place to put your thumb to reverse flick, and as a righty, you have a place to put your fingers for a front flip. Where in this case, putting pressure on the lock bar or on the clip actually adds pressure to the frame lock and makes it where you can't open it, because that clip is putting pressure directly on the frame lock. So that's a negative. But as an engineering thing, it's badass. This is dead centered. This thing's freaking gorgeous, man. So you have a fuller here, and you have this beautiful front flipper tab. The jimping is perfectly done. It goes up to here. It does not go up and around, but the way it catches your finger and this detent is just spot on. I mean, it is stout, the detent. It's not like weak in any way. There's no shaking this out, but it's still strong enough that, like, I'm not going to just accidentally, I'm not going to fail it. It fires out. And then look at that closing action. I mean, it's stupid, honestly. Is there a hint of play? I don't think so. It could just be because I've been playing with it. Yeah, I think maybe because I've been playing with it, it's now guessing they don't Loctite these just to be safe. I'll check real quick. It'll take 2 seconds. Yep. So I'll just tighten that back down. And let's test it. No play. See where we're at. Oh! Still wants to take my finger off. Jesus. So if you Loctited this where you wanted it, yeah, you're going to get it to be no play and drop. All I got to do is this. Watch. That was a micro turn. I don't think I did anything, but yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. That's why. Oh, okay. Let's see where we're at. No play. There we go. So I would just Loctite it in that position, you know. So left-handed front flipper tab. Oof, man, is it a good one. Super snappy front flipper. Absolutely love it. It is the primary deployment method, Levon told me. And so did Ivan. I talked to Ivan briefly on Instagram because I actually reviewed one of his knives before. Well, I unboxed it. It was the Bronze Horseman. And if you go watch that review, it is absolutely brutal. I am an absolute asshole in that video. I really roasted that knife I roasted it because I didn't understand it. And that's not really good. I've learned since then that just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's a bad knife. And I've kind of learned how to say that. Where back then I was just kind of ruthless. And I just, you know, hammered on the knife. So I feel bad for that. And if Ivan watches this, my bad. I also returned that knife, apparently, to Levon, which he reminded me of today. He's like, you returned it like I was Walmart. I don't remember what happened there. I might have had an issue with it or something. But I'm like, dude, I would never do that. Like, I would just sell the knife at a loss or do whatever. But again, it was, I guess, a long time ago where I was new. I didn't know. Ooh, I just flicked. I didn't know what I was doing. Or I wasn't as versed in the knife world. So, you know, I fucked up. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So, shout out to Levon and Ivan. And apologies for being a tool bag about the Bronze Horseman. So, back to the Buran. Yeah, guys, right-handed, the flick. Hold on. The flick is just fantastic. You line it up, you fire it, and it guns out. I mean, this thing, you could get this dialed in so well. You could see I'm missing there, and that's because I'm getting pressure on the lock bar somehow and locking it up. That's the one downside of this knife is you can put pressure on the lock bar because of where it's located. It's a little easier to get your hands there. But I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss on that. I've noticed front flipping is money on this all around, and when I'm, you know, just acting normal, it fires like nobody's business on the reverse flick. Let's see what's going on here. I have this finger down here on the lock bar. So if I line it up, yeah, there you go. So my problem with the knife as a lefty is I just can't flick it. I mean, no matter what I do, I'm on this lock bar clip. I'm putting pressure on the lock bar. I have to get all the way down here to get it to flick, and that's just not going to work for me personally, right? Now, I was able to, a second ago, kind of lean this way, put pressure over here. Ooh, shit. Put pressure. There we go. So you could figure it out, but, you know, I would just, if you're left-handed and you like reverse flicking, I would probably just not get this one. But if you like front flipping, it's fantastic because there's no lock bar in your way anywhere. And you can just pop it. You can flip the clip around. I mean, yeah, I think it's loosening too much now. Yeah, I love this thing, guys. I so want this to work left-handed for me because I want to keep it. Like, that's how much I really like it. Yes, it would be nice if the jimping went up and around because you can kind of slip and catch that corner. I'm noticing now that my hands are a little sweaty. I was able to do the rollback right-handed like that. So most people without bitch fingers will be able to do that real easily. It did get me a little bit there, but, you know, no big deal. Thumb flicking right-handed. I'm on the lock bar, I think. Kind of worked. Left-handed. You got to give it a little wrist, but it's fine. Ergonomics on this. Money. This feels really good in the hand. You got plenty of handle here. Very neutral, yet it does have some cool design aspects to it. Feels good. You have some jimping down here, but it's not aggressive. This feels good in the hand. Thumb lands right on the jimping. Then you have this beautiful choke up point, and you can hold it up like this. It really does remind me of the TW Price Dawn in the design aspects of, you know, front flipper, drop point, slot, milling. It's got a lot of the same features, just really different, and I love that. This is more my size, so I like something 3 1/4, bangs out really good, and yeah. So, yeah, guys, I don't know what else to really cover on this one. There you go. So you can learn to do it left-handed if you want. I'm just not the guy who wants to, like, adjust to do things because I got so many knives I'd rather just pick another one up instead of making it work. But if you're right-handed, this is a phenomenal piece. I would highly recommend you pick one up. Yeah, they're $320, but the value here, I see, like, this is $290 and it's much larger, so I could see, you know, some price there. You have the unique, you know, frame design. Then you have a different OEM, whatever. They're both M390. So, I mean, $30 difference. I can see that. You have my own knife, the Devo Knives Buzz. This comes in at $2.99. In this version with the satin and the black wash, it's going to be $3.20. So exactly the same price. I would 100% put these as comparable in terms of quality. I'd say you have a little more stuff going on here with the milling and that Framelock design. And then I think here you have that satin with the beautiful hollow grind, the inset liner lock. So you got some trade-offs, and I think the price points match up pretty well on those. You have the Jaeger M, 330, I think. Well, with this pattern, it was 500, but stock in all tie, 330, 320. Yes, I would 100% say the quality of this is leaning up and towards Riot. I mean, it is really well done. We don't know who the OEM is. I think it's Real Steel. That's my guess, but I don't know. But they're killing it, whoever it is. They're up there, guys. Riot isn't the only brand, OEM that can crush. Out of the super known ones, yeah, they're the top dog, but doesn't mean other ones can't build to that level. And this is there. I mean, it really is. Yeah, I think I'll stop grabbing stuff. Another one that's sort of comparable to me, I guess, is the Mini Buster from Wii. Mainly because it's got that sort of futuristic thing with the milling. You have a overseas European designer. I don't know. They just sort of have similarities to me in terms of background and stuff like that. Not necessarily design, right? So that's the Mini Buster. But yeah. So there you go. That's the Buran from Arkona Knives. I'm going to get this shipped off to my buddy Brent. I can tell you now, he's going to freaking love this thing. He's going to be going gaga over it, and I'm so excited I'm excited for that. So shout out to him. And if you guys want to support Knife Nuts, if you want to support Ivan out of the Ukraine, if you want to get a badass knife, I highly recommend you go pick one of these up, and I'll link that down below. I don't get anything. I'm just, shouting out a dope-ass knife. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think down below. I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.